What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about extroverted sensing and INFJ's fourth cognitive function and how that impacts daily life. So this ought to be good. Basically, in a nutshell, extroverted sensing is the cognitive function of like the present moment. It's the least developed. It uses the five senses to sort of make sense of like the real world. And because it's like the INFJ's most inferior function, it has like this real weird relationship, like sensitivity to music, sounds, taste, touch. SE is also what makes INFJs prone to depressive bouts, anxiety, substance abuse. It's because they have the least control over this function, and so they're not always aware of maybe when they slip into these like emotional cycles of negativity. Like when God made INFJs, just kind of imagine you're in this video game, this kind of virtual reality, and you're in like the character creation page, right? Going through all the skills, the character traits, the game just crashes, and that's kind of what you're left with, just this INFJ sort of figure. It's like you're maxed out on empathy and kindness, but then it's like you're the first person to die in a video game because your player doesn't have a basic understanding of like traffic laws.
100-365 squad of bad girls and they down to ride. I'm the CEO.
I think a real good depiction of this is if like you guys have ever played the Sims game. That's kind of like a good exaggerated look at that inferior sensing function at work.
I got the ice, I got the crib.
So a recent example of this, yesterday morning, I wake up, I make the same smoothie, celery, apple, banana, and blend that with a little ice and water. And my friends noticed that I was having some trouble trying to blend the smoothie, right? So this is a Vitamix blender. Granted, so these things are pretty much the best blender that you can buy. And as he was noticing me kind of struggling because it wasn't blending everything correctly. So while the blender's going on max speed, I open the top and I'm putting my hand inside to try to just mash down the celery so it blends a little better. And he like looks at me and he's like, "Bro, like what are you doing?" And I was like, oh shit, like, yeah, probably shouldn't be sticking my hand in a blender. Yeah, I basically stopped it, shook it a little bit. That seemed to do the trick. Another example of this is severely overestimating the amount of time that something might take, or severely underestimating the amount of time that something might take as well. So another story of this, basically 2 months ago, I was scheduled to move out of my apartment in downtown Dallas. My landlord sends me an email saying like, "Hey, this is your last day to move out. Just make sure you're all moved out, leave the keys on the counter, and you're good to go." So I was like, all right, bet. And I basically waited until the last few hours of when I was supposed to have been moved out to actually start putting my things in boxes. So needless to say, I worked until about 3 a.m., and that was with movers that I had previously arranged as well. And I also had COVID. So yeah, that was just kind of one of those like miserable experiences that I had. And the thing is like I knew about this for almost 2 months, my last day. But in my mind, I was thinking like, yeah, I live in a 600 square foot apartment. I don't have that many things. Like, it's not going to take me that long, right? SC tends to undermine the significance of typical important tasks. You know what I mean? Another example was last year. I had accidentally waited about 10 months to register my car after the expiration date had passed. So basically my car was only valid for about 2 months, and I still needed to register that again. Another example, I lost my passport, and so I was supposed to go to Serbia. Another example was my ex. I had come home from work one day, and she had placed like half of our groceries that need refrigeration into the pantry. So I come home from work and I'm gonna like go to the pantry to like get some bread or something, and there's an entire rotisserie chicken literally just sitting there next to like the bread and, you know, the peanut butter. And I was like, yo, are you good? And she just was like, oh, wow. Another thing, too, is I've always, like, done this weird thing where I'm, like, licking my lips, like, when I'm, like, working on something, like, and I'm really focused into it. So, yeah, one of my coworkers actually pointed this out. Basically be responding to, like, some basic work email and just be like, I've said this before on this channel, and I'll say it again, my memory is absolutely terrible. Of course, this becomes largely problematic when you're dealing with things like your mama's birthday, your birthday, a job interview. I've gotten better now at remembering details thanks to a planner somewhere around here that I you know, bought. But yeah, it still is just one of those things where I'm just like, man, like, why is it so hard to exist sometimes? Like, why can't I remember things? And I don't know. So I have to be real conscious and real careful to just be present. I think another obvious example of SE at work here is this mentality that is very easy to fall into, where you're just like, like, that's good enough, or something along the lines of, like, you know, it is what it is. This is really my mentality when anything needs to be fixed. If you were to take down all the pictures in my room, the mirror, and some of the things I've drilled into the wall, you will see that they are all up by 1, maybe 2 just nails that I kind of just eyeballed and was like, yeah, that's good enough. Another example is a lot of the times I drive my car down to like 1 or 2 miles left in the tank. I just don't really see much of a purpose or have that normal anxious, you know, pit in my chest when my car, you know, has the E shiny thing that pops up on the dash. Yeah, I don't know, I just drive it down. And then so essentially what I've realized is INFJs have a very interesting relationship between time and space due to SE.
Here it is. Truck to refrigerators to dumpster, 360 spin onto the pallets, backflip gainer into the trash can.
Yeah, gainer! Yeah!
Parkour!
Parkour!
I'm right behind you, Andy! Come on!
Yeah!
Because you're in your mind so much, you almost lack this self-awareness that other people seem to have, kind of giving you this like mild state of psychosis, you know, this disconnection from reality. So obviously it can be improved and strengthened over time as you're more aware of that. So anyways, guys, that's all I got. Hope this video helped. Until next time, peace.
Bad girl boss drip. Bad girl boss drip. I keep it 100, 365. Squad of bad girls and they down to ride.